Hi everyone, welcome to Follow Everton. You're with the hosts today, the two main guys, the follically challenged guys, Robby, the Dutch football agent, and his good friend Wez. Hi Wez.
All right, Robby, how's things, mate?
Absolutely great. We just had a quick 20 seconds off air prior to coming on, and all week I've been going, yeah, he's going to go 4-4-2. Yeah, Jeffo 4-4-2. Jeffo. My friend Wez went, nah, he's not.
He hasn't got the bollocks.
Guess who won? Yeah, Wez won. So, for those who haven't seen the team, I'm sure you all have, but we're just going to go through it dead quickly. Are you surprised with the team, by the way?
Mostly surprised with Garner being put in there instead of Danjuma. I don't think Danjuma's done anything wrong really to be dropped. But is he gonna play Garner out on the right and McNeil on the left? I mean,
well, for those who haven't seen the team, it's Pickford at the back. We've got Tarks, Brentford central defenders, Young and Michaelenko. Interesting. Decore, Onana, Garner, McNeil and Beto. So, yeah, we're just discussing who's going to go right, who's going to go left. Do you know what? If they haven't been training on the pitch this week for the 4-4-2 system, I'm sure they've been having a look at it. Ryan and I were both saying the other night who'd go forward, who'd drop back, out of DCL and Beto. If you and I were playing up front, I'd speak to you before the kickoff and go, you lead the line. I'll drop a little bit central so that we're not both, side by sides. But we'd be communicating with one another, wouldn't we? I mean, the pros. I'm not slagging our team. This is just constructive criticism. This is why we're sitting. This is why I'm sitting in my back living room, and so is Wez. And we're not getting millions of pounds to pick a team. But now the team's picked, we clearly want 3 points, and we are. Am I criticising the team here, Wez, or are you with me on this one?
No, I'm 100% with you. It's like, I didn't expect the 4-4-2. I just don't think he's got the backbone to play that formation. I mean, it is an outdated formation, but we used to play it quite regularly when he's with Burnley and stuff like that. But it's like we've got the players up front now to do that, though, and we can't all be stupid sitting there watching the fact that James Garner's wasted at the right mid. And yeah, okay, we haven't got much to choose from to go in there, but surely, what he done last week and McNeil all the time, maybe that could have worked today. But I don't know. He's gone same old, hasn't he?
So what are we saying, Wes? Are we saying 4-5-1?
That's what it looks like, isn't it? It's like Decore again sitting in the hole where he's running around with lead wellies on, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's got no pace. All right, right.
Hi, there's no one here in the room yet, so I thought I'd drop on. I was listening to it anyway.
Yeah, hi.
What's your thoughts on the team, right?
I was listening to you there now. As I say, I've probably got about 10 minutes before this event kicks off. But deflated looking at that team because he's gone with 4 central midfielders and then he's playing Garner on the wing. He's dropped Danjuma, who's got real threat. He's kept DCL on the bench. And at the fullbacks, Young, there's no creativity coming from deep. There's no creativity coming from the middle. So what are we trying to do? We're just trying to go route one and hope Beto can get him behind.
I think it's like we're going to try as much as we can to frustrate them, and then counter-attacking football again, which obviously didn't work last week. So
there's no pace in that team, Wes.
There's no pace. There's no pace. The only pace you've got is your forward, and the forward who's sitting on the bench. But if they're not getting the supply to run onto, if they're just getting balls pumped into the box and there's nobody to play a ball through the middle or whatever, so they can get behind the defenders, then
There's nothing there.
it's kind of a pointless exercise, isn't it?
We might as well not bother.
By the way, Kevin's just made a statement there about Dice being sacked. Dice isn't going to get sacked because Mashiri's not in control of the club. And apparently 777 partners have had meetings with Dice and they're happy with him and his backroom staff and all that.
No, they probably just don't want to upset the apple cart too soon.
Well, he ain't got the money though, has he? Mashiri's not spending another penny on Everton. That's for certain. And he hasn't got the money to sack him.
I don't think he did.
So we might have to wait up until if this deal does go through and get ratified till possibly Christmas, maybe afterwards, with a manager that might have lost a hell of a lot of games, and we could be out of sight, out of safety.
Trying to make myself look more Everton-y, but it's not working.
Mate, you're at work. It's allowed.
Yeah.
There you go.
You should have had your Everton top on underneath, Ryan's on a little Superman change.
Didn't think I'd get on. They were meant to be here 10 minutes ago. They're late coming from church. I don't want to sound too negative because I think people want a lift coming into the game. Robbie, I'm going to ask you. I don't want to stamp on your show, but could you give us a positive twist to that team? Is there anything, mate? Do you think it could be a 4-4-4? It's not going to be a 4-4-2 diamond, but I can't think of anything.
It's going to be the same old.
He might have a little surprise up his sleeve, mightn't he?
The surprise is it's the same.
The surprise is to go 1-0 down and to bring Calvert-Lewin on when we're 1-0 down, chasing the game.
Take Beto off.
He was not happy with Dan after the Arsenal game, which is understandable. But I think to drop him over some of the others like Decore, who were really poor against Arsenal as well. You have to wait up.
They were all terrible.
Do you not
they
have
were
to
all
wait
terrible.
It's the pros and cons, isn't it? Is the con of losing Decore worse than the pro of losing DCL? You know what I'm trying to say? That's not right, but does bringing DCL's positives outweigh the negative of losing Decore? I'd say they would, because we don't play through midfield anyway. We might as well go straight to the front and play second ball and stuff.
But this is the kind of football we've played for 3-4 years now, is get it out wide and get crosses into the box. When you've got the likes of Mope, who's like 5'4" or whatever he is, that tactic's never going to work. But we have got a bit of height in there now, but we've got to get the balls into the box to have any sort of threat. Like last week, the only threat we'd have had against Arsenal was from set pieces. We got one corner all game.
So is the plan quite literally get it to McNeil and cross it into Beto's head and hope for the best?
Yeah, and you're going to have
all the others.
You're going to have Garner and Patterson overlapping.
This. Team news is deafening. Patterson could play right back. Decore hasn't earned his position. We need to counter attack. Or we're in for a 3-0 pasting.
Thanks, Chris.
Who's that?
That sounds like Ryan's guests are arriving.
No, there's some people giggling. Let me just put these.
We've DCL's not scored a goal since May 2021 when we beat West Ham 2-1. That was the last time we won in London. So out of 38 Premier League matches away, out of our last 38, we've only won 3. Do you know what, Wes? Today could be 4, couldn't it? We've already gone in, looked at that team and gone, OMG.
Yeah.
So at some point we're going to get our 4th away game. I'm trying to be a positive here. Why not today? So it's 2 years now. Yeah, it's over 2 years since DCL scored the winning goal. He scored a penalty, hasn't he? But I'm talking about an open play now.
Open play, yeah. But I think we all said it like through the week or whatever. We'll take a point away from Brentford now. and then hopefully get 3 points next week against Luton. You know, and that'll take us to 5 points. And you never know what's going to happen
from 7 games
after that. Yeah, but I mean, it is what it is, right? You know what I mean?
In normal circumstances, I think he's got 3 games to save his job. I think if he loses to Brentford today and doesn't beat Luton, I think he'll be hounded out because I think the players are there. I'm looking at that bench. I'm thinking you've got to find a way to get those players in, and if they're not good enough, why aren't you coaching them? You know, you've had time to work on that Calvert-Lewin Vito partnership. They've both been training for 2 weeks. They didn't go on international break, so he's had 3 weeks to work on that. Maybe he thinks they're too similar.
This is the thing, though. Like it's you know, when you watched it last week where, you know, we couldn't pass the ball to save our lives, and we've watched that for 2-3 seasons now. The same thing. They can't do the fundamentals. They can't do the basics of football. And you've got the manager coming out teaching us to suck eggs. That what we've just witnessed is what he's relaying to us. And you're like, well, that's your job as the manager, to train that out of them. Go on the training pitch and get them doing passing drills.
They don't look like they're doing a lot in training. It looks like they're having a bit of a kick about in the park. Pretty much like what I do at goals, 5-a-side, twice a week. Robbie, just on that comment you brought up, should we have had a break clause in the summer with Dyche?
Should we have had
a break clause?
A break clause is in, what do you mean?
You can part ways with him. I know he'd never have signed it, would he? But
no, that wouldn't have worked because when he came, everyone was going, yeah, do you know what? He's what we need at the moment because he knows what it's like to be at bottom of the league and to struggle and to rally the troops and whatever. But again, the toxicity, I don't like to use that word, but I can't think of another word off the top of my head. Behind the scenes and all what's going on, I don't think it must be pleasant coming to work. I was hoping, and we spoke about this before, where you go, I hope it doesn't affect the players. Because, do you know what? If I'm coming into work and I'm getting some serious wonga for coming to work, I'd like to think that I'm going to go, I'm not asked what the managing directors are up to, and I'm not bothered about potential takeover or whatever, because I've got my contract anyway. So if something happens to the business, I'm made because I'm always going to be paid. These don't realise how lucky they are. They don't look. I just don't get it. We want to have humble pie written all over us.
I think I have to go, guys.
Tonight, okay, Ryan.
See you later, right? Just see you later, mate. See that comment I've just put up there, Robbie. The training video was awful, right? Laughing and joking. Now they've got, to some extent, they've got to do that when obviously they know they're on camera and they've got to look like there's no pressure on them and this, that, and the other. Behind the scenes, we know it's completely different. They're like a swan with its legs going 1,000,000 miles an hour under the water, but they're an ugly duckling where it's shite on top as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect them to come to work and like be coming out. We've seen the videos, and everyone's got a gob on, because equally you'd have someone going, "Have you seen the Kipperton? Have you seen how miserable they are?" and whatever. So all the smiling is kind of they're probably enjoying the training. They probably are enjoying the training, but come a Saturday, it's like, can I just introduce my little grandson, by the way? Yeah, come here, friends. Here we go. This is Oliver. This is all right,
Oliver.
Hi.
Say hi. Who's Grandad's best team?
Everton.
Yes.
His dad's a Man City fan.
So it's not his fault.
He's got the Everton kit, and he wanted to know what I was doing. I said to Nanny, just go and put his Everton kit on, and he'll say hi to everyone. So lovely to chat with you. And would you say bye to everyone?
Bye.
And Everton going to win today? Yep. He said, that'll do for
me.
Bye,
Oliver.
See you later.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye, mate.
Bye, Wes. Okay, friend. I'll speak to you in a minute. Yeah, he's a good boy. Yeah. Do you know what? He's 3 years old, and I actually think, I don't know if I want to put him through what we've been going through, but hopefully in his lifetime, because his dad's a Man City fan, and he just goes, I bought him the Everton kit, and he went, yeah, no problem, you know what I mean? But, you know, he can be influenced either way now at that age, can't he? And he can go and support Man City and go and like cheer every week instead of being you, looking at the team sheet and going, God help us.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You know, they've basically bought their success, Man City.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like when they started, when Sheikh Mansour come in, there was no FFP, so they was going out buying the Robinhos and all this, that, and the other, and they already forged the team before the FFP come into place. You know, now that other teams have spent an absolute fortune trying to, replicate the way they've done it, and apart from Newcastle, can't really see any other team that's done it. Them support Man City.
Yeah. 51 people looking at the moment, just on that I can physically see, and thanks to everyone.
Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, we all know, don't we? We all know what we want. We've all got the same interests at heart. I'm just desperate tonight to watch Match of the Day. I haven't seen it since the Bournemouth game at the end of last season, when it was like heart in mouth time. And what we're saying is we don't want to go through that all again. And I mean, we've already touched on today, what if it all goes pear-shaped and will Dyche's, will he be sacked or whatever? Do you know what? I can't see anyone paying him off. I don't think there's any money in the coffers there. No. So I think we've got him for as long as we've got him for. So we've got to get behind him and the team. It's as simple as that. We're stuck with them for the foreseeable. So there's no point in. We can slag his tactics off so we're blue in the face, but at the same time, there's nothing we can do about it. He plays the same boring, mundane football, and regardless of whether it's working or not, he just plods along and just keeps doing what he's doing. Like last week, he's switching the wingers. Great. It didn't work, but great. I mean, any manager can do that. I mean, you could have went on the sidelines and switched Dan Juma and McNeil. I mean, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah. What do you think of Brentford as a team?
Absolutely brilliant team. Great manager. They've got where they are on a shoestring. They're like an Everton under David Moyes. Solid at the back, tenacious, and they score goals as well. Yeah, and they're a threat.
And it's well run. Their last league defeat was April last season against Newcastle
at their ground.
Yeah. So and they've only lost one of their 23 Premier League matches in London. So 17,250 capacity. Obviously, Everton are going to make a loud noise as well. But a team like that, for me, okay, this is my opinion. They would have, and I'm sure a lot of other people would have said this. They got promoted, bang, straight up, and everyone were going, do you know what? With that amount of following and a small ground, they're going to go straight back down. And it's, but they've had, I know he's not playing today. They've had Ivan Toney, haven't they? Who's been, they get fair amount of penalties as well. So he bangs the penalties in as well as scoring goals in open play. He's the kind of player, if I dare say, if DCL hadn't got his injuries, I won't say they're both similar, but they're both kind of dynamic on the day. Yeah. DCL is dynamic on his day. Unfortunately for us, over the last 2 years, we haven't really seen that, and that's where we're in the potential predicament that we're in, because he wasn't replaced and we didn't have anyone else to come in apart from, as you mentioned before, Mopey, and it just doesn't work for us. But the last time we beat Brentford, I know we haven't played them every season, was 1952 when we beat them 4-2. We've actually played them 11 times.
At their grounds. 1952.
Yeah.
at their ground.
Yeah.
They say it's a tough task, regardless of who you are going to their stadium. You know, they're strong at home, a strong away as well. They gave Newcastle a good game last week, even though they got beat. And like you say, they're missing the talisman striker, Tony. But they've got replacements where, you know, up until this season, we never.
Yeah.
We lost DCL and tried to replace him with Mopé, and you're like, it's just not the same, is it? There's not, like you say, the dynamism just wasn't there with Mopé.
Nah, comment there with Kev. That's because they dive, Robbie. Do you know what, Kev? I totally agree with you, but they're not the only ones. And they do get a lot of penalties, and they have had a lot of penalties, like a certain other team that play in a colour that we won't discuss. Do you know what, Wes? Just on a little side there, I've been watching the Rugby World Cup, and you watch the impact. Every time they get tackled, it's like a road traffic accident. And 99 times out of 100, they pick themselves up and carry on and whatever. And correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe over the last 10 years, all I've seen is they must have some coaching in how to cheat, how to gain advantage, how to con, how to crowd the referee, how to, you name it. It's got to be on the agenda because they do it collectively.
Yeah. The thing is that the powers that be have sort of manipulated the rules into allowing them to behave the way they do. Slightest touch, it's literally becoming a non-contact sport, football. Oh, you go back to the good old days of the Peter Reeds and the Steve McManaman battles in the derby. The tackles were flying in, the Graham Souness, the tackles were flying in left, right and centre. And there was hardly a yellow card shown. But now, you've only got to touch them. And they're rolling around on the floor. And the next minute, the ref's got his card out. And you think, this isn't the football I know. You know what I mean? It's become more technical. You know what I mean? And tactical, but more about tactics than what it was back then. Like, it was all blood and thunder, especially in the derbies. But it was all blood and thunder then. And it's become more technical now. But I think that ultimately the powers that be have made football the way it is now. As the spectacle that it is, because you can't touch anybody without getting the yellow card or, being a foul.
I love that. But depends on what team you play for, whether the card comes out. There's one.
Yeah, 100%. But I was speaking.
I'm saying the refs. I'm saying my opinion. I'm entitled to it. The refs favour certain clubs. I mean, that's fact, isn't it? That is. Well, fact.
Here's one for you. Like, this'll get you inside the mind of a referee, right? I was speaking to a guy with a place where I go to, and at the moment he's refereeing in the Northwest Counties League, but there's a good chance in 5 or 6 years' time. I'm not going to name names, but there's a good chance in 5 or 6 years' time that we could see him in the Premier League because he's that good, right? Now, he said to me, obviously because he lives in Liverpool, he wouldn't be allowed to referee Everton or Liverpool games, right? Mm-hmm. But if he did, and say Everton or Liverpool were playing another team, he would 100% favour Everton or Liverpool. So that gets you, if that is somebody in the Northwest Counties League possibly got moving up to the Premier League in a few years' time, that sort of gives you an insight into what referees think as well, who are Premier League referees.
Right. Do you know what? It's a subject, isn't it? And it's a subject that we could spend quite a lot of time on because I've worked side by side with the referees over a period of 25 years. So there's a couple of stories in the tank there, but maybe I'll save that for another day when we're talking about the sacking of managers or a club, our club's being taken over and we know it, so we can talk about certain other things. We've seen our team, their team. I think their star man is Brian Mbuemo, I think his name is. He's got 4. Mbuemo. He's got 4 this season. And Jensen's got 2. And Weisse, he's got 2. So they've scored 8.
Is he playing Weisse?
I'm not sure, but I'm just saying.
Because I'm sure Ryan said through the week that he was injured.
Injured, yeah. So that kind of rules him out. But they've scored 8, and you think, okay, that's not bad. But they've let in 6, so that gives us a little bit of hope, because the fact that we've pulled our team apart and said we would like to see something else, and I'm sure a lot of the other fans would, and the subscribers, is that I'm still going for a win. So we're the whole point of having this little chat is we talk about it. Me heart and me head, I've got to say, at some point we're going to get our 4th win in London. So I'm going today that we could snatch it. Who's going to score? Do you know what? It could be anyone of that team. Yeah. We just need to.
Anyone will do.
Yeah, anyone will do. It doesn't really matter. But let's go for the fella that was flogging chicken 4 years ago.
Can't blame refs for 1 point. Nobody's blaming the refs. Nobody put the blame on the refs there for us only having 1 point in 15. I was just stating that certain teams get favourable decisions from referees. That's what we were saying, weren't it, Robbie?
Yeah, we all know that we should have had more than 1 point, but we haven't. But we're not blaming the refs on that one. We're just it's for maybe a show when we talk about historical jobs over the years, because I could name loads, and so could Wes and the people out there. But we're not putting it down to referees this season, where we've only got 1 point. We know that the whole point of footy is beat the opposition, and we haven't been doing that. So today, hopefully, we will. I'm going for a 1-0 win, and I'm going to literally, I don't bet, but I might do a little one, I might do a quick one in a minute for Beto, and we get our 4th. I don't know what odds we've got. I don't know what the odds are because I don't look, but maybe I'll go to Tony's bookmakers.
I think the thing is, the movement needs to be better, hasn't it? It's as simple as that. They need to start dragging defenders out of position. It's no good feeding the ball into Beto when he's marked by 2 men. What's the point in that? You know what I mean? The movement's got to be better.
Yeah.
There's too many players static when we have possession, just stood there. They should be making runs, making themselves available, getting rid of the defenders. Trying to get, playing off because that Beto's rapid. We've seen how quick he can be. He should be playing off the last defender's shoulder, but there's nobody there to turn around and pass a ball through to him so we could run onto it.
Yeah, Beto standard up front. Yeah, I know what you mean, Mark. It's I'm hoping that they've watched the videos from last week and just gone, right, all right, maybe we need to do this, or maybe we're just hoping and praying, Mark, because at the end of the day, we know what we've got. We think, both Wes and I think, we could have a better team out there. However, the manager who gets paid £4 million a year has decided what the team is. From a positive point of view, potentially we've got some game changers on the bench. We would have possibly preferred 1 or 2 of them to be on the pitch at the start. But there you go. We're armchair supporters, aren't we? That's why we're sitting at home, and a certain fella is getting £4 million a year.
The thing is, Robbie, is no good in having game changers on the bench when you're like 1 or 2-0 down.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's pointless. It's like you're throwing them on there for more hope than actual expecting to get anything from the game.
What do you think of Dave's comment, Wes?
Then you've got to play Onana as a DCL, defensive midfielder, haven't you? So you're kind of taking away a little bit from your attacking. But yeah, I wouldn't be adverse to it. I said a while back, I'd like to see Garner playing in the Decore role, not Garner Gay, James Garner. I'd like to see him playing in the Decore role, but we probably never will. He's probably going to be absolutely wasted on the right side of our midfield, where you're going to get nothing out of him.
Paul, trust me, mate. We have got, and I know we're only having a little chat. I know that comment's not personal. We want to have faith, okay? And I'm open and praying. Like I said, we get our 4th win in London, and we win today, and I can watch Match of the Day and have a smile on my face tomorrow and all week. So I want to have faith. Trust me, I want to have faith. So it's kind of, but the team have got to do it for us to have that little bit of faith as well. So
it's the saying, the same old saying. It's the hope that kills you. You know what I mean? And that's what we go into every game thinking we're going to win. Like even last week against Arsenal, even though they're flying, most Evertonians predicted us to win because of our record against them. So it's not that we haven't got faith or hope, but then they let you down week after week, and it's that every week they suck that little bit of extra life out of you. You know what I mean?
As a Blue, Wes, we are, I believe, and I know that you and I have had a chat, we are easy to play against.
100%.
So the analysts who
predictable,
get paid whatever they get paid behind the scenes, I don't think it would take them long to analyse Everton's strategic way of playing. That's my personal opinion. Yeah, predictable.
It won't take like a tactical genius to work out how we play, because we've played it for 3 seasons and we've got no other options to play that because we've got no creative midfielder. You know what I mean? So we've got to play down the flanks and get balls into the box. Now that Iwobi's gone, we've lost any bit of creativity we had.
Yeah, that's a good point there by Chris. And every time Everton go away from home, we want to see that performance. That we literally turned Brighton over when they were like flying high at the time. And something happened that day where the jigsaw came, all the pieces came together for Everton, which is quite rare, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
and
because
the thing is,
it's because like you look at that Brighton game, and every single player was in the position where they play. There was no square pegs and round holes. The team was finely balanced, and it's we caught Brighton on the counter time and time again. But then a lot of teams do that to Brighton their own, because Brighton, the fans expect Brighton to go forward all the time at home at the Amex. You know what I mean? So they're easy to counter attack. Whether Brentford are the same, I don't know.
Well, they've let in 6 this season, haven't they? So that, for me, that gives us a little bit of hope to literally go there. And I've said on our little write-up today, do a smash and grab. So that's what I'm going for. I'm going for a rare away win, 1-0. Because we've got to have a little bit. I've got to have a bit of faith. I've got to believe that we're going to win, as opposed to just get tonked again. I mean, we have shown this season chances created. We're in the top 4, are we, or the top 5 in the Premier League for chances created?
Yeah.
But only 2 goals to show for those efforts. So if we can create some of those chances again and keep a clean sheet. We used to be able to keep clean sheets. We don't appear to be able to keep clean sheets anymore. So it's
don't forget though, Robbie, that the reason we had that we was that high up in the chances created stat was before we got rid of Iwobi. Now I was never the biggest Iwobi fan. Do you know what I mean? But he was creative for Everton, like whichever way you look at it. So I don't think that it's any coincidence that the chances. Okay, we played Arsenal, where a lot of teams are going to get played off the pitch against Arsenal, but we didn't really create anything last week.
So here's one for you then. We sold Iwobi, and everyone was saying good bit of business because he wasn't going to sign the contract. So we sold him for, was it 2022?
Yeah, 22.
So I'm just throwing it out there because it's, we're having a conversation about Everton and whatever. As Ian Wright said, we were fools to get shut of them. But then we've come back and said to Ian Wright, well, he wasn't going to sign his contract, so it was a good bit of business. We got shut. So should we have kept him? Hear me out, everyone. Should we have kept him because of his creativity? It's with hindsight, so it's just a conversation with us Blues.
Yeah.
Would it have been cheaper to have kept him, lose that 22 million, kept him for his creativity, hoping that he's going to score us or lay on some assists for the rest of the team? Because that's what we're talking about, isn't it? I know it's with hindsight, and I know it's pie in the sky, but which is better, to get the 22 million now, or lose him, don't score the goals, and worst case scenario, we get relegated?
Well, look, Dice come out and said that he was gutted about losing them, weren't he? But like you say, the predicament that we're in with finances wise, we couldn't afford to let him go for nothing, because he was not going to sign a contract. He would have left for nothing. He would have been another 30 million down the Swanee that we just flitted away. So effectively, we took what £8 million loss on him or something like that, which is not bad for us. When you're letting 50, ripping up £50 million players' contracts, or getting £10 million more profit on top of a player that was in his prime. It's like the business that Everton have done over the years since Mashiri come in has been absolutely scandalous. So to get 22 million for a Wobie, which I thought we'd only get about 12, I'll be honest. I thought it was good business.
Here's an interesting one from Cucamonga 95. We ought to be aiming for 7 or 9 points. Yeah, I'll have that. I think 5 to 7 is realistic for the club. Do you know what? I would bite your hand off now to have 5 or 7 points out of them 3 games. That would be hallelujah.
100%. 100%.
So listen, my friend, I know that everyone's going to be, kind of getting a little bit nervous, a little bit excited, a little bit anxious, because it's only 20 minutes to kick off. Anything else that we need to have a little chat about before we sort of bid everyone good day and
I think
enjoy the game?
I think people have pretty much most people have put the predictions up of what they think the score is going to be, and I think most of it is going against Everton. Which I think, do you know what it is? I think it's a mentality thing with Everton going away from home. I don't think it's it's a physical thing, because it shouldn't really matter whether you, especially in somewhere like Brentford where the crowd's not intimidating. You know what I mean? So that shouldn't affect the team. They should be able to play it on a different pitch, and if they're good enough, they should be able to beat them.
Do you know what I think it is, Wes? Kev, just check if that's better on the volume, because I'm trialing different things on the microphones each time we do a stream. In my opinion, you know what I think they're doing? I think they're preparing themselves for a defeat, and anything else is a bonus, instead of like the likes of me and you saying, I think we're going to win, and then we're more deflated. So if you say you're going to get beat, then if we win or get a draw, you go, do you know what? That was good, wasn't it? Because I was expecting us to get stuffed again. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right. I think if most Evertonians will take a draw today, 100%, and then hopefully beat Luton next week. I think Luton drew 1-1, so that's a pretty decent result for us against probably two of our relegation rivals. So what we've got to do now is do the business ourselves. We haven't got to worry about, I don't think we've got anybody. Or is Burnley playing over the weekend? Tomorrow, are they?
Well, definitely, tomorrow or Monday. Not quite sure.
Yeah,
not quite sure.
So they're the only other team, with the relegation rivals wise that have got to play after us. So two of the teams that were going to be in a sort of relegation dogfight, so everybody seems to think, drew today. So that them taking 2 points off each other is a bonus for us. what we've got to do
Oh,
now. But the manager
go.
should get that across to the players.
Thanks, Mr. Blue Skies, for that one.
Oh, 8 o'clock today, is it?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So they're Burnley the only team, I think, who we're going to be playing after we've played. That's down there with us. So the manager should be relaying that back to the team. You know, this is your chance to go out and get 3 points, put a bit of a buffer between us, Luton, and whoever else is down there.
Wes, wouldn't be in you love 10 to 20 minutes in the dressing room? Not necessarily before the kickoff, but at some point either on the day of the game or the day before, to actually tell them a few home truths.
Yeah. And that also, I'd be rifling through the pockets.
Okay, everyone. So listen, I know that you hit the like and subscribe button, and thanks for all your comments. It's absolutely fantastic. We've had 61 looking at us, which, you know what, for 2 hour fellas talking about the Blues, I mean, that's absolutely spot on. There'll be loads of other people looking at it a little bit later on. So we hope you enjoy our little show, and post-match, hopefully with a smile on his face this afternoon or later this evening, Wes and Jan will be talking about hopefully Beto's winner or even more.
Anyone's winner.
Anyone's winner. So you'll be with us.
Everyone's a winner.
Later on. And hopefully we'll have a little smile on our faces. But from Robby van der Groot, the Dutch football agent, I bid you good day.
Adios.
Nice one, Wes. And I'll speak to you whenever. See you, everyone.
See you later, Robby.
Bye-bye.